It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's just your two favorite wild boys from Cinephellas to talk about the biggest movie of the summer, Superman. I'm Kevin, and this is Bob. We are here to talk about how James Gunn did with this version of the Man of Steel and how we're looking forward to what he's going to do with this universe. And before we deep dive into the film, let's take a look at a clip. This time, there is no origin story. We are literally thrown in the middle of the action. Superman lies broken, bloody, and bruised on the snow plains, Fortress of Solitude. Krypto, the world's best boy, picks him up and saves him. Superman must return to Metropolis after healing to battle Lex Luthor, who is trying to change the public's view against him. Lex sees him as a threat. Clark Kent and Lois Lane are already a couple, a secret couple. And we have Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, who is a part of the Green Lantern Corps, who is going to get his own HBO Max show. And we have a lot of stuff going on here, but Gunn specializes in this, and he can handle multiple storylines, multiple characters. And I think he does a fine job with this movie and the new universe full of iconic characters. And Bob, I know you are a comic book guy. I'm going to hand it over to you. What'd you think of this one?
I thought it was really good. This is what James Gunn was brought in to do. People have poked fun for so long about DC's movies being dark, gritty. I mean, Deadpool, aren't, you're so dark, aren't you? Everything's brooding, and people complained about it. James Gunn took it and made a comic book movie, not a DC Warner Brothers movie, a DC movie. He brought in a comic book story and we watched it unfold. It doesn't pertain exactly to a single storyline. However, he pulls from all of these other characters that are well established that all have roles. Like Guy Gardner as your Green Lantern, that's not a well-known Green Lantern. Um, and for him to throw that in there was amazing. But James Gunn is great with his B cast. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, no one that was a B-roll. Like so given all of that, Mr. Terrific is rarely seen in comic books. He has been as of late because this came out. Guy Gardner's Green Lantern has always just been out there. My big thing about all this was how are we going to make Superman? How are you going to give me a character that I've seen so many different people portray? And how are you going to make him new? And I think James Gunn nailed it with making the naive yet still in mold superhero in training Superman. The one who hasn't had all the answers, the one who hasn't been able to figure out everything, the one who still is stumbling, making mistakes, making naive marks, trying to figure out what this world is and still bring in, and by the way of using naive, it's the naive, the doe-eyed. In the movie, he talks about if I didn't do it or doing what's right. And that in there is a thing of Superman where he does what's right, but without the, how could I put it, the human element of, but you have to do this, but does right necessarily mean this? And they talk about it in the film when he's talking about not letting one nation invade the other. He goes, well, people were going to die, so I stopped it. Yeah, but you didn't think of this. So having this doe-eyed, aw shucks, I'm going to do good. Like it was good to see this struggle and have you using Lois Lane as the other, as the angel on the shoulder going, wait, wait, wait. But you have to realize just because you think this is it doesn't mean the whole world is like this. And I thought that was a fantastic element that was downplayed so much by so many people who watched it was the fact that Lois Lane is his Jiminy Cricket. It's his compass into a world that he is trying to save and yet knows so little about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I also thought, we had The Dark Knight in 2008, and that movie, besides the Joker trying to kill Batman, it's mainly about the Joker trying to take the soul away from Gotham and corrupt everybody. And what I liked what James Gunn did in this movie is, Lex Luthor, of course, uses superheroes to fight against Superman, but he was trying to basically take the goodness and the public perception of Superman away. And he knows that would hurt Superman because Superman's a people pleaser, and I liked how Superman was portrayed as, he's kind of a nerd, he's kind of a geek, and Lois Lane kind of busts his balls about liking this band. He's like, "Oh, that band is terrible. How can you like that? They're too commercial." But he's unapologetically good in this movie, and I thought it was a very, nice change from Man of Steel. Again, I talk to everyone, and it kind of makes it feel like I like Man of Steel. I know it's a very different movie. It kind of took liberties with the comic, but I liked Corn Sweat in this movie. David Corn Sweat. He was in Pearl. He was in Twisters, and I thought he nailed the goodness and everything you just said about who Superman is. I thought he nailed it completely.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the country bumpkin going to the city.
Yes.
And he got that without being book smart, but street smarts are lacking in the fact of how the world works and the evil that lies in it when he's dealing with the super element of it. I have to say, Nathan Fillion did amazing as Guy Gardner. Gardner is a arrogant prick of a Green Lantern, and he portrayed it so well. And for Nathan Fillion to make me not like him or get annoyed by him is, I mean,
Gift. Yeah.
that takes some work. And in this, I thought it was great. Um, and that I'm excited to see what they do with him next because I know the show Lanterns is coming out. That's going to have Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and it's going to be R-rated. And they said it's Fargo and Great Detective, or was it the detective show from HBO, and then Someone Flies. Like it's going to be gritty, like crime drama. So to be able to have that in the same world where we're going to have Guy Gardner giving the finger to people as it's pushing up to, I think it's really cool. And we said this before, stop gatekeeping. I
Yeah.
love comics. Everyone let people like the things they like.
Yep.
And I thought Nicholas Hoult, who is amazing in almost everything he's in,
Yep. I love him.
nailed Lex Luthor. You put it best by saying he's playing Tom Cruise.
Yes. He's put. Yes. This the facial expressions, the intensity. I kept saying it. This is Tom. He's doing Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and who better to model it after? If you think about it, Lex Luthor is a guy who has all this money, all this, and wants more attention, wants more love, wants control of everything. Who better to aim yourself as a possible real life version of it in Tom Cruise? Like, yeah, I like the only thing I didn't like was having Hawk Girl scream. Wasn't in any of source material. However, it took me a bit. And the second time when I went and saw it, I was just like, this is just a war cry. As opposed to the first time, I was like, the hell is happening now? She doesn't do that, but you need to have her have a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of the when this whole thing was announced, this project, and the first castings were basically announced. I knew Corn Sweat, and I was happy. But the one person I had talked about on the podcast when we were talking about this movie when it started was Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. I'm a big fan of her from Maisel on Amazon TV, and she lived up to my expectations. She was great. Like you were talking about how she challenges Superman. She has that hardened exterior, and she flat out says to Superman, like, "Hey, listen, I'm not relationship material, and I'm more about the job." And you could tell that she was a go-getter, and she had heart, and she kept Superman grounded in more ways than one than what you said before.
I watched some of Superman and Lois, the show, but and she's okay. But with that aside, this is the best version of Lois Lane I think we've ever gotten. I mean,
Yes.
Lois Lane is supposed to you know, bust down Farm Boy. You know what I mean? Like kind of bring him down to earth and all that stuff. Um, they had amazing chemistry. Yeah, I'm excited to see where the next one takes us. I know the next movie James Gunn has up is next year's Supergirl, which we get
Get a little sneak
little
peek of that.
snippet of her in here. So I'm really excited about that. That source material, I believe, was Supergirl, Girl of Tomorrow, or some woman. I can't remember right now, but Tom King wrote it, and it's an interesting story. I can't recall all of it right now, but Tom King's an awesome comic author, and it's great source material to go off of. But also, I think the biggest surprise and the character who is now possibly getting a spinoff, Mr. Terrific. I gotta say, his action sequence when they go to find the portal and he
Yes.
puts Lois in the dome and just starts going with the T. one of the best, and James Gunn can do a good action sequence, and he does it a lot in there. But that one got me. That one almost gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah, I wanted to shout out the actor. His name is Ed Gathegi, and he was in X-Men First Class. He was one of the mutants that died originally.
Yeah, he's Darwin.
Yes, and he does a lot more here. He holds his own against Brosnahan and Corn Sweat, and as you said, I thought he did a great job, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in future installments.
He he made the character his own. You felt, you know what? You felt the confidence he has. Deadpan deliveries, but the amount of confidence, like it's two different things. If you people feel your confidence out there in the audience is great, but for him to do deadpan delivery, do that. So then when you get a little bit of uncharacteristic behavior, like in the second post-credit scene, he gets a little animated and stuff, and it makes you laugh even harder because you saw that one crack of humanity. And for that to only be the one part of him with it, I thought just give me more. It's a superhero movie. It's Superman in a way we haven't seen him. Like you said, Man of Steel, I loved, but that's not this. You know what I mean?
Very different. Yeah, this is a Saturday morning cartoon come to life.
Right. And that's what we've all been wanting.
Yeah,
People, oh, DC only makes dark stuff. DC only does this. Oh, Snyder did this. Oh, cool. Guess what? Now we're doing this.
yeah,
James Gunn's Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, except for the last 3 minutes of the series or first season, are all canon now. I'm happy with the way DC Universe is going. I'm excited to see where we go from here.
yeah. I'm totally on board with James Gunn what he's going to give us. And yeah, what did you think? Like, I don't want to spoil it for the viewers, but there's a lot of plot around the message that his parents leave and what is contained in that message. I didn't mind it. I know you're more of a comic book purist than I am. What did you think about it?
Well, very much comic book purist. However, if that was in a comic book, it would hit me the same way it hit me now. That's an awesome take on it.
Yeah.
For years we've had the, oh, my parents want me to do this, or if we look at it, a species of people who get power from the sun, for people, why wouldn't they look at us like lower class things? Why wouldn't this be a quote unquote starter planet for someone who's meant for? That's an amazing thing that I'm a little frustrated that I didn't read in comics much. Is that makes more sense from than his parents being like, all right, go down there and make sure you save everyone and be the hero they need. Okay, cool, but like this was a good, but what if they didn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it makes Pa and Ma Kent's like inspiration on him even more stronger.
Right. And then it no longer and they immediately pushed out the biological parents real fast,
Yeah.
like due to all that, because then it's what he saw, and then he sees more, but yet his life was revolved onto that. So what he wanted to see out of it said more about it. And so, yeah, no. And also, we got a Ma and Pa Kent that weren't needed, but had the Southern charm about them, or the small town charm, I should say.
Yes.
It just felt good. This felt like you said, a Saturday morning TV show. The kid who played Jimmy Olsen, I've seen him in so many other things. He's really good. He nailed this role. They're talking about him possibly getting a spin-off. I'll be honest, I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what you do with that. But the ongoing gag of him with women had me rolling pretty hard.
yeah.
Just James Gunn is great at putting in these little niches, or just like you said, these other storylines in there. And the fact that Crypto is actually a digital scan of his dog, who is, he puts it, is the worst dog in the world. And it's just funny. He rescued it because one ear was down. And so he decided, and they scanned him. And the thing Crypto does to Superman when he first sees him in the beginning of jumping and that's what Gunn's dog does to his cat. So he put that in the movie as, although the dog doing it to Clark.
Oh, I
Or
didn't know that. That's funny.
so like I think that's why James Gunn turns out so much good stuff is because he quite literally is putting his life in there. He's putting a spin into it that he knows how it's going to do and makes it feel more real and genuine. In the comics, Crypto's fun and having does, but like you don't see him as a rambunctious boy. You don't see him wanting to do all of this other stuff.
Yeah, and I liked the inclusion of the owner of Crypto who comes and check on him at the end. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was. And I don't know if you saw the poster. It's Supergirl, and I like the feel just from the poster because the whole poster with this one was "Look Up," and
Mhm.
for the Supergirl poster, the word "look" is crossed out and says "Watch out" or something.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be like a party girl, and like if anyone can do that, like James Gunn can do that well.
The big thing about Supergirl, it's not the only thing, but the big thing with Supergirl is the fact that she was sent off from Krypton to take care of her little cousin Clark. But her vessel gets sidetracked on off, and she comes and Clark's already older and stuff like that. Well, she's been stunted in this way. So she has this rebellious nature, and some people say it was this hostility and all that. Um, it'll be cool. I am so excited to see where we go next.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I really liked it. Surprised the feel of it, and it moved away from the darkness, and we need that. We need light comic books that are fun. Not everything has to be depressing. And I'm gonna give this one 4 out of 5. Superman
I
pieces.
absolutely same.
Same.
4 out of 5.
Excellent. So, what did you guys think? Did you agree? Did you hate it? Did you not like James Gunn's take on it, or are you with us? You are looking forward to this whole new universe. We're done with Snyder. We're moving away from Snyder. Now it's Gunn's turn. Let us know. Come to the website, Cinephellas.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, or drop us something below us. Let us know. Let us know. We love hearing your opinion. And yeah, that's it. And thanks for listening. I am Kevin, and this is,
Bob,
and as we say in the site, cheers.
here.